I'm the Prodigal Fool, and I'm joined by my co-blogger on the Prodigal Guide, Straight Six.
Hey, folks.
And we're here this evening with a relatively new watch from IWC, their Ingenieur range, but their classic range. We're drinking a new vodka, at least new to me, called Purity Vodka, which I discovered thanks to some very good PR people. Which always makes me a bit dubious because I always think good booze probably doesn't need a PR.
We agree.
Tends to get around all by itself. But so frankly, I was dubious. But after a night of drinking this stuff in some rather
and more than a few ice cubes, as you can tell, because by the way, he's really loading it up.
Some rather cracking martinis. I found myself rather liking it. This is Purity Vodka.
Okay.
It's organic, unfiltered, Swedish vodka, based on wheat and barley. They use a sort of small batch distillation in a pot. Pretty smooth, pretty characterful.
You'll notice he's off camera right now, and he's trying to... Oh, there he did it. Here we go,
So I'm just, literally, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just give it to you on ice. I'm going to give it to you on ice.
You hear that,
Nothing
folks?
more.
Boom.
That must be the oily texture of this vodka. Can you tell I'm reading the press release?
You really are reading the press release.
Oh my goodness! Just a Lely shot glass. Nothing to worry about, folks. All is well. All is well. Now, I thought you were going to tell us about this watch.
This is a limited number of 36 vintage Ingenieur Automatiques watches which are exclusive to the Watch Gallery here in London. This is a 42.5mm case, and it's got the point stroke indexes and the Dauphine style hands. So this is a little bit of a special piece.
But this is one of the range of vintage re-editions that they put out in 2012, right?
Indeed.
They celebrate all of their vintage models.
They did a number of these. So the Portuguese,
of all of their range.
So Portuguese, Ingenieur, of which this is
the Ingenieur version, yeah.
Pilot's Watch,
everyone got
Da Vinci's, Aquatimer, and the Portofino. Yeah. And what you should know is it was introduced in 1955, and it was the first watch to feature the IWC automatic movement developed by an Albert Peloton.
In 1955, not 1995, as
like,
some versions of the press release will have you believe.
Yes.
Anyway, listen.
So, sorry, should I put this down?
No, I'm eager to get into this,
okay,
but before we do, I've poured your drink, and I would just like to have a sip of that and see if you can detect the delicate tones of white chocolate, vanilla, and licorice.
So you know what, folks? Very smooth and really discreet.
Genuinely, that's
very Swedish, in fact. Okay. So
what about this?
So let's talk about this. So we've got a format for this show.
We have indeed.
The good,
God help us.
the bad, and the bottom line. So let's start with the good, big guy. You want to kick us off?
I guess the good is relatively straightforward. The first thing is it's an IWC. It's a brand that I love. I think these guys have great taste. You see it in their watches. You see it in their marketing. So, you know, they're starting off on the right foot straight away. It's a brand that I want to like, and I think they've done a great job with the design of this watch. I mean, this is a beautifully. I'm just going to see if I can get it.
Can you get closer? Is that right?
There. You know, they've done a great job. It's a beautifully elegant dial, lovely exclusive colour of the dial there, and you can see it sort of playing with the reflections of the light and so on. It's a sort of beautiful coffee, tobacco coloured dial.
Finishing on the sides as well.
Usual gorgeous combination of finishing that you get in IWC cases. There's a mixture of brushed and polished finishes on the case. And so just all in all, just a lovely classic looking design and a great brand. So those are the first two pluses straight off the bat. I guess my third would be, you pick it up and straight away you get all the quality that you would expect from an IWC. There's absolutely no. You get heft, you get size, you get
strap.
Lovely. The strap's lovely.
What do you think?
I've got as you know, I've got a Portuguese chrono in my collection, and the quality levels feel exactly the same, both in the strap and the case.
Okay.
It's all good, and it has that sort of 1950s, 1960s look about it, which is very Mad Men, very of the moment. I'm sure
Agreed.
People who care about trends would say that.
Accents are right. I think the color on the dial is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very special in this day and age. If you can get this right, then most other things fall into line. And in this case, I think IWC's absolutely delivered. Polishing, the accents, the finishes, whether it's brushed, whether it's polished, I think even the strap, lovely and well integrated.
Good.
So on the case back display, you see this 1 out of 500. Although I have to say, on having a closer look at the movement, I think you and I recently have seen some finer interpretations of the genre, right?
Yeah, no,
But, okay.
my problem with the case back. Okay, so let's just take a step back.
All right.
What is the Ingenieur line in the IWC portfolio?
Well,
Right?
so for me, it's the functional, restrained,
Yeah,
absolute.
and I equate it
It's engineering, right?
exactly. So I equate it to what Rolex do with their mini gros, right?
Yes.
They used to have.
We agree.
What is it? They have like a soft iron case, right?
This is the anti-magnetic
yes.
case.
So let me tell you, this admits that. So you don't get anti-magnetic if you get a
Because
display.
you get a transparent case back,
So
you
they
don't get it.
don't have the soft iron case.
But you're already
on this
okay.
historic.
All right, but hold on. But you're already moving into the.
Sure, all I'm
The
saying,
band, right?
well, yes.
Or sort of,
Sorry, you're
right?
right. I am. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's what you're highlighting as a quality, as a good. I would say, well, be careful with
So
that
sorry.
because by
Okay.
doing that, they've had to sacrifice something of the essence of, to me at least, what the Ingenieur line was all about, which is tool watch.
All right. So as the last thing that I would say is arguably within the IWC range right now, I don't see any watch apart from the Ingenieur that best represents what that tool line philosophy and mentality and approach is.
Oh, I completely disagree. Have you seen the
You
Pilot's watch?
No,
recently?
no. I think the IWC Pilot's watch, the recent interpretation, is no longer a tool watch. It's become something far more stylized than that. The Ingenieur, you can see it down here, by the way, guys. Lovely. Look at that. Pure, simple, to the point.
No, I disagree. Putting an Ingenieur logo on that means nothing. They're harking back to a vintage model, but without the advantages of that vintage model.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, this does not look or feel like a tool watch. I think you're nuts to suggest
no,
otherwise.
excuse me. Sorry, that's totally wrong. This retains the simplicity and the directness of the Ingenieur watches of the past. If you look at the IWC Pilot's watches of today, they've become far more complex. You know the date function, for
fine.
example.
And
you see what I'm saying?
but that's also true of the modern Ingenieur. Don't forget, this is part of their vintage collection.
Yes. But what we're saying is, a successful interpretation of what was a previously acknowledged line.
I'll certainly stick with you as far as the fact that it's a very simple, elegant, well-resolved design. I'll
Good.
agree with you. So
We
far.
agree. Now, you want to move on to the bad?
Immediate bad point is simply that it's just slightly too big. I'm a big guy, but this is 42.5 mils a case, and you put it on your wrist, and what looks like before you put it.
Excuse me.
more.
Let me just pour you a little something.
What looks like just a lovely, elegant watch when you hold it in your hand. Put it on the wrist, and in fact, I'll do that right now.
It wears big, doesn't it?
And it just wears a bit big.
It doesn't wear just big.
It's a
it wears
watch.
very big.
It's a watch that is designed to look like something from the 50s or the 60s, right? I want to feel like Don Draper when I've got this on, and I don't. I feel like a football player or something.
So can I? But hold on. This may be interesting to the viewers out there. Take a look at this. So this is, I believe, a 36 mil, 6536, 1958. And you can see the big difference.
Yeah.
It's hefty, isn't it? It's big.
It's hefty.
It's
It's certainly bigger than I would want, and as a result loses some of its elegance. And the second bad is the point that I was making just a moment ago. Really, is just that
it ain't
I just
actually
feel
an
it's a little,
anti-magnetic.
it's just a little bit confused. It's like, well, hang on, what are you, a tool watch now, or are you just more of a dress watch? And do you want to get fancy and show us the movement, or do you actually want to preserve that soft iron case that was part of the historic original? That's not clear to me. But
Okay.
but look, those are my only two bads. I mean,
So what is this saying to us about the brands?
one thing that it does say, which I think is very interesting, which says less about the brand than it does about the retailer who's currently making it on offer here in the UK, is, this is an exclusive to the watch gallery in the UK. I know that other
Agreed.
retailers around the world will get them,
Agreed.
but I think that the watch gallery are getting 36, 37 of these
I
out
think
of
so.
500.
36.
Now that's a pretty big deal. I don't remember in modern times retailers getting exclusives like this? I know the Watch Gallery also got an exclusive Bremont with a different barrel case recently. But it seems like there's a new trend, going back to
that. Which by the way, is reminiscent of Serpico Ilano for Rolex. There was also the Tiffany series.
Well, yeah, I remember exactly.
These
you always
all
vintage
co-branded.
Rolex with Tiffany.
Yeah.
Co-branded. Now, this is not co-branded. Nowhere
No,
does
it's
the
not
Watch
co-branded.
Gallery appear here. But
Sorry, so can I say it bad? I would like it to actually indicate that this comes from the Watch Gallery.
yeah, I guess that would be nice.
I think that wouldn't it make
said,
sense?
Well, they've got the exclusive for the UK, not worldwide, so they'd have to engrave every piece. I don't know. Yes, it would. Yeah, you're right. I guess it would feel more special. But I just think it's interesting that they would even do that, and that they would choose the Watch Gallery to be their exclusive carrier for this particular model. And I think kudos to the Watch Gallery, because they're certainly sort of flexing their muscles in terms of their importance in the UK retail market.
And not least because what is it? It's this dial configuration in particular.
It's
right,
the dial that's unique.
Yeah, and so by the way, guys, this dial
it's a stunning dial.
It's a stunning dial.
So much
hands down
so,
the most attractive IWC dial I've seen to date.
And you kind of wonder, crikey, did you really want to save it for a limited edition that you're only ever going to sell 500 of?
Maybe you exactly.
Maybe put that on the standard model. You might
and
sell
everybody
would
would say, "Well, hey ho, great."
It's by far the best dial.
And by the way, I think you could do this with the Portuguese. You could do it with the Da Vinci. You could do it with the Ingenieur. You could do the Portofino. You could do it with any number of ranges.
It is stunning.
Come on,
stunning.
It's great stuff. Great stuff. But we suddenly moved into the positive when we were actually trying to talk about the bad.
Well, no,
so,
I just wanted to just make that remark about this weird relationship between brand and retailer, and how. I mean, I'm not sure that I even understand the dynamics of that. Who's winning here, and why. Why would you want to buy an exclusive for a certain retailer? Do people feel loyalty towards a retailer or a brand? And where's the relationship? I'm actually very confused about that, because I don't know how I feel about it.
I'll give you my perspective on this. I just want a really hot watch. And I think a lot of people lose sight of this. So what happens is it gets disseminated and diffused amongst who has the limited edition, which watch brand or which retailer can have access to XYZ. Here's what I actually wanted to push you on. You know what the bad is. We're talking price tag.
Well, this is the bottom. This is it, right? So what's the bottom line?
What's the bottom line?
Would you recommend it?
We have an issue, don't we? We looked at this and we thought, this is stellar. This is all the things that IWC could and is and should be doing right. And then we came across the price tag of almost £6,000 in the UK.
It's pricey.
And you and I actually choked on our Chinese dish tonight.
Well, I just think, I think that the official retail price is 5,950.
Okay, so almost 6.
And that just feels pricey to me. That just feels pricey. I mean, that's...
Well, does it feel right or does it feel pricey? I mean, I'm trying to,
It feels too much. It feels too much to me.
So,
well, let's put it a different way. Let's not go crazy. Let's compare it to something similar, i.e., let's stick to the brand and let's stick to new prices, because I know it's easy to go, oh, well, for that sort of money.
Pilot's Chrono?
Yeah, I mean, you can get a brand new Pilot's Chrono for 4.6, 4.7, I think. And this is 6. And I'm just trying to figure out why. I think the movement is in-house on this model, and it's not, of course, on the Pilot's Chrono. They use the...
although it doesn't have the original...
it doesn't have
USP, exactly, the Ingenieur, which is
and I don't know. I just feel. I mean, I guess this is very much a question of taste, right? Some people will look at this and just go, "That's the most beautiful, stunning, simple, elegant-looking watch I've ever seen. I want it, and I'll happily pay £6,000 for it." And I look at it, and I think, yeah, it's a lovely, lovely-looking design. There's elegance, there's simplicity, but it's not grabbing me enough to make me want to write a check for £6,000.
What would? In this same vein. Like
okay.
if you push it out, it doesn't matter what
I've
price
already
it's
done this. I have an IWC Chrono. Now, that is a watch which I consider to be iconic, which stands out, which looks unique, which is around that price range.
Portuguese, you mean?
Yes, sorry, what did I say?
You said IWC Chrono.
Sorry, yes, IWC Portuguese Chrono. And, of course, which also has the complication of a chrono. I know this has a date, but to me, a chrono is always a bit of a more interesting complication. So that would be, if I was going to go, I want an elegant IWC, I go back to the Portuguese. This somehow feels like, wait, if it's an Ingenieur, I want it to be sort of, a tool watch and kind of rugged looking and all of that. And this is not. It's elegant because they've gone back to the vintage style, and therefore I'm a bit lost as to what it's for.
So
even though it's a lovely looking watch.
No,
Lovely looking watch.
but it frustrates me, right? Because in theory, guys, we should be telling you, in and of itself, this is a terrific piece, which is worthy of your attention, and you should give it, I think, every credit that is due. Beautiful dial, lovely case design, it's perfectly pitched, it's appropriate, the design is right on, but the fool is put correctly. At that price point, you start to enter into a little bit of a no man's land, and I don't know where to place it as a result of that. So at that price, you can get a whole host of lovely vintage pieces. You could even get old Ingenieur. You could get vintage Ingenieur.
Exactly.
So what?
So here's my bottom line.
So it's
I
bottom line.
think I think that the people who come out of all of this looking the best are the watch gallery, because kudos for them for bagging what I think is absolutely the best configuration for this model, and they've got it in exclusive.
Totally agreed.
For the UK.
Totally agreed. I give full marks to IWC and to the watch gallery for having put together a piece like this. But ultimately, I'm in the same place as the fool, which is, guys, if you have any wider perspective of the watch market, then something like this will simply be a midway piece. And as a result, I agree with you. I'm not sure I can recommend it either.
Cheers.
Oh, it's pretty cold, but cheers too.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for joining
us
us
next time. We hope you're back sooner than last time. It's been a long time.
It certainly has.